So, I just want to say this. I'm neither left wing or right wing. I don't identify with neither side. I don't identify with being a left wing. I don't identify with being a right wing. Now, I was told that I was politically apathetic. I was told that that makes me the worst individual by those who are left wing. Well, then so be it. I'll be that worst individual because I refuse to identify with any side. I would rather analyze those particular parties and take the information what is useful and just go from there. I don't have to be a left wing to be political, right? I don't have to be a right wing to be political. And it's sad that people tell you that you have to choose a side to identify with, to stand on your political position or whatever the case may be. It's like a game of tug of war. And why is it so common within the black community that you got black folks on the left wing saying that if you're not on this side, then you are a fascist, you are a coon, or whatever the case may be. Then you got the black people on the right wing that say, oh, you identify with being left wing, then you pretty much don't have anything to offer or whatever. So these people have the same attitude about their fellow black people who don't identify with being on either political party. It's quite interesting that coming from the black left, I hear so much criticism about those on the right. But they don't take the time to criticize those within the left movement. And that becomes a major problem to me. If you're going to give critiques, you got to look at both sides of the issues, right? I mean, at least you got to look at what is going on with the left wing as well as what's going on with the right wing, right? I mean, you have to make it balanced. But it's a lot of confirmation bias, which is why people don't choose to get involved or engage into like political spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'd rather be a person that could be able to think for myself. I'd rather use some form of critical analysis. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon. And then when you jump on the bandwagon, things don't go as you intended to be. And that's where the problem comes in. And if we look at the history about the left party, right? Especially within the black community, there's a lot of idealism, but there's lack of pragmatism. Where is the pragmatism? And those who jump on the right wing, they getting played. They don't realize they getting taken advantage of. So you call out the racism on the right wing, but you won't call out the racism on the left wing. But I see too much idealism. I hear a lot of idealism, but I don't see enough pragmatism. So when there's a lack of pragmatism taking place, right, that lets me know that I don't need to join a political party. We had our people that was all radicals, right? But they could never be pragmatic. They couldn't put a lot of work into the community. So looking at their history, that makes me realize that no, I don't want to join. And then the black people who claim to be left, they're not radical enough. Yeah, they're radical online. They're radical vocally. But when it comes to putting things into action, you don't really see that. And I have been to events. I have been to protests, okay? So I know these things. And I know from what I've saw and what I have experienced being around individuals who were supposedly be activists involving community work and things like that. I have seen this for myself. Which is why I said, nah, this ain't for me. And because there is a lot of things that I disagree with, with the left. There's some things I can agree, and there's some things I disagree with. Just like with the right. There's some things I agree, but there's some things I disagree with the right. Which is why I don't fit into neither one of those parties. I want to say this. I wish people would stop infantilizing other people when it comes down to political parties. Stop infantilizing folks. This is why we as a people are so far behind, because we have been infantilized too long. We have been letting people tell us that we have to jump on one particular party or represent one particular group and not come up with our own creativity, right? Not come up with our own political party that will bring about better representation for us. I hear those in the left argue about white conservatism, right? But what about white liberalism? I don't hear that. I mean, come on now, let's talk about it. They're both white ideologies, if you want to be technical about it. European ideology on both sides. But if you guys are looking to bring about the progress in the community, just know that there are going to be people in the community that's not going to join or be in the same political party as you. Right? As far as they're not going to be identified as being a left or a right. That does not mean that they don't care or they're not looking for the progress for their community. They just trying to find their own common ground. They trying to be able to see what will work for them. They trying to use critical analysis. They're trying to use critical thinking. And some people just don't want to get caught up with a bunch of shenanigans because they seen what these organizations have done. They've seen what these groups have done. They seen that it's a failure on both sides. There's lack of pragmatism on both sides. But people are going to look to shame. See, what we have to understand how the world operates is about sociopolitics. It's sociopolitics. Either you gonna get with the bandwagon or you don't get with the bandwagon. So that's what we're dealing with, the sociopolitics. And one day I can go into a thorough detail about the left wing party, the right wing, and all of that. I can pull up information on both parties. However, I'm just going to stop right here because I just wanted to get that off my chest. I was sitting up here thinking about it all damn day. I said, you know what? I'm going to say something on this. Yeah. I would not even allow anyone to shame me into believing that I am wrong for not choosing to be a part of any group, any political group that is left wing or right wing. I'm not going to let anybody shame me for it. Because I'd rather be on the independent part of things. I'd rather be the person that's using critical thinking, critical analysis. That's just me. And you know what make it sad? These individuals identify as being Pan-Africanist. That's the sad part about it. But anyways, you guys, I will connect with you all later. Peace and power elevation. This your girl Tiffany, and I'm out.